I love container gardening. But what I don't love is having to go out often and water my plants with the hose. And if I am planning on going out of town for a few days, I'm going to have someone come over to water them for me. And that could be quite limiting. Now, you could connect your container plants to drip irrigation. And I do have some of mine connected to irrigation that way. But there's another method that you can use. And in fact, it's an ancient method that is used for irrigating plants that is still in use today. And the good news is that you can do it as well. I'm talking about oyas. And an oya is an unglazed clay vessel that you bury in the soil next to your plants. And you fill it with water. And as the soil dries out, water leaches through the sides of the oya, moistening, the surrounding area around the roots. That means you don't have to go out there and water as often. It's a really good thing. Now, you could buy ready-made oyas, or you can make your own. And they're very easy to make out of very inexpensive materials. And the skill level is incredibly low. It's very, very easy to do. And I've done this in my garden, and I'm going to show you how you can do this in yours. Now, this is one of the many projects in my newest book, The Water Smart Garden, but I'm going to share it with you right now. All right, the materials. This is what you're going to need to make an oya. 2 identical unglazed terracotta pots plus 1 saucer, a quarter or another coin that's large enough to cover the drainage hole of one of the pots, waterproof silicone caulk, and waterproof glue. Pretty easy. Now what you do is you're going to take one of the pots and you're going to take the coin, and you want to make sure the coin is big enough to completely cover the drainage hole. And you're going to use the waterproof glue to glue the coin onto the hole. Now, that's only for one of the pots. The hole in the second pot needs to remain free and clear. Your next step is to take one of your pots and place a line of the silicone caulking on the rim of the pot. Then you're going to take your second pot and place it on top, and we're going to allow this to dry for 24 hours. Place a heavy book or a brick on top just to help really keep that seal tight. Now, after 24 hours, you are going to fill your oya with water through the top hole that's still open. And we're checking to make sure that there's no leaking. We want to make sure that we've sealed everything up nice and tight. If you notice any leaking, pour the water out, let it dry, and then apply more silicone caulking or waterproof glue. Now we're ready to put our oya in the container. We want to dig a hole deep enough so that only about 1 inch or 2 of the oya remains above the soil. So a little bit has to stick up above the soil. And you're going to place the oya in the container so that the sealed end is pointing down and the open end is pointing up. And then we're going to fill that in. Now, when it comes to the size of pots you should use or the size of your oya, a general rule of thumb is that an oya is going to water about twice as wide as the oya is. So it's going to water an area about twice as wide. So make sure that your oya is appropriate for that. We also want to make sure that in your pot there's enough room to add plants around the oya and so that their roots can grow. Once your oya is buried and in there, you're going to fill it up with water. Then you're going to take the saucer and you're going to place the saucer on top of that hole. And that's going to prevent any dirt or debris from getting into your oya, and it also keeps mosquitoes out. We don't want those around. And then every few days, you're going to fill it up. Once the Oya gets empty, you're going to fill it with your hose. But then you get to go a lot longer in between having to go out there and water yourself. It's a simple project. It's incredibly rewarding. I think after you make the first one, you're going to want to go out and make a whole lot more. And again, it's just one of the many projects that is in my newest book, The Water Smart Garden.